Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. We all just saw what happened, right? We all just saw it. And it's helped Chelsea in terms of the league table, but at what cost? At what cost? We've just seen Arsenal win 3-0 at Brighton. Cheers, De Zerbi. Thanks for absolutely nothing. I'm just going to say this off the bat, right? And it goes hand in hand with a point that I made yesterday between De Zerbi and Amorim making that decision. And I told you guys that I would prefer Amorim. Listen, with De Zerbi, do I think we would look better, right? Stylistically, in terms of the way we move the ball? Yeah, we would. But again, at what cost? I think we would probably concede double the amount of goals that we've conceded so far this season. And that says something because our defence is as open as an all-you-can-eat buffet. So it's, what would that be then under De Zerbi? Come and rob me, basically. That's what would happen. We would get wrecked. But they didn't do the job against Arsenal. And not just that, Arsenal had a goal, the second goal. Jorginho to Havertz. Havertz puts it away. Lovely. Brilliant. Yeah. Now, you know what? It's going to be mad. 31 games in, right? Arsenal are top of the league. Liverpool have to play Manchester United tomorrow. I do think Liverpool will beat Man United, but it's at Old Trafford, and you never know when those two come against each other. It's just one of those games that anything can happen. So, look, this close now, I'm starting to get a little bit... Worried? Is worried the right word? Not worried, but I'm getting there. I can't have Arsenal win the league, man. We cannot live in a world where Arsenal are Premier League champions after exactly 20 years to the day since they last won it. Can't have it. We can't have... Look, it was bad enough with the old generation of Arsenal fans having to deal with, you know. We got to deal with the new gen Arsenal fans, mate. We won't hear the end of it for the next 20 years. Listen, it's a long day. It's a long year. It's a long decade if it happens. So, listen, City, even Liverpool, do what you got to do, guys. You know, stop these lot. And you know what's crazy? We've got to play them soon. So it could be down to us. We could have it in our hands to go to the Emirates to try and stop them. But are we really going to go to the Emirates to try and stop them? Are we going to stop them? Well, before we talk about that, let's talk about tomorrow. Because tomorrow, this is what the preview's for, Sheffield United versus Chelsea. Sheffield United sitting bottom of the league, 4 points below 19th, Burnley. However, Sheffield United do have 2 games in hand. One of those games being played tomorrow against Chelsea at Bramall Lane. Right now... Sheffield United are not mathematically relegated yet. And just to play devil's advocate here, they've only won 3 games all season. But if they were to win their 2 games in hand, very, very, very unlikely. But you never know. And this is when you come up against a relegation team. It's like you're playing a team that's trying to win the title. They become that difficult because they're surviving at that point. They haven't got a choice. Back against the walls, they got to give it everything they got. They can be dangerous. When you've got nothing to lose, you're dangerous. So if Sheffield United were to win those 2 games, they would go up to 21 points. They would go above Burnley. And they would be 4 points behind Luton Town and Nottingham Forest, both on 25 points. In fact, Nottingham Forest would have 1 more game in hand in that case. But they would at that point, they would put themselves in contention to possibly making survival. It's very, 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 very unlikely that Sheffield United are going to survive. But they've not got a choice. This is it. So it makes tomorrow harder for us. Because Sheffield United, weirdly enough, have to beat us tomorrow. We're going to play a Sheffield United that we don't normally play. When we're playing that team that's at the bottom of the league, normally they're like, they're bottom of the league. They think, we're not going to win this game. It's a long day, right? We're playing a Sheffield United that have not got a choice but to win. Likewise, Chelsea, after the miraculous win we saw against Manchester United, the Cole Palmer situation, where he came in clutch in the fine last milliseconds of the game to get Chelsea that win. We now find ourselves in 9th because of what Arsenal did to Brighton today. So that's the one positive to take from that result. We now go above Brighton just by default because Brighton lost 3-0. So goal difference is kicked in. We've got one better goal difference than Brighton. We're plus 50, they're plus 49. Sorry, no. What am I saying? Plus 50, plus 49? I bloody wish we had plus 50. Flipping now. What am I saying? My head's gone this season, guys. We got plus 3. They've got plus 2, right? That's what I meant to say. In fact, we've conceded 50 goals. They've conceded 49. So that tells you what you need to know. Bloody hell. That's mad. But anyway, we've gone above them on goal difference. We are in a position now with 2 games in hand behind Newcastle, 4 points behind, but again, 2 games in hand, one of those games being tomorrow against Sheffield United. No matter what happens tomorrow, we stay in 9th. But we have a chance to bring the points gap down to 3 points behind United, West Ham, and 2 points behind Newcastle, if we were to win tomorrow. Sorry, 1 point behind Newcastle, if we were to win tomorrow. And then we would have a game in hand. So it brings us into the conversation of 6th, which I have to say would be Europa League. However, this is where we have to be honest here. We have to be realistic, because I feel like there are Chelsea fans that are getting a bit carried away and are, I think, being a bit over-optimistic without analysing the reality of the situation. I think there's some fans, and this is dangerous, don't do this, looking at just us. If we win this game, we win that game, it's done. Ignoring that other teams are playing football matches as well. Look, Newcastle are playing games. West Ham are playing games. United are playing games. We have to rely, whether we like it or not, we have to rely on them dropping points. We have to. And on top of that, we need to not lose games, which is something very, very, very unlikely when you look at the run-in that we're about to have. We have Sheffield United next, cool. We got Everton after that, winnable for sure. At home, definitely winnable, you'd think. Then we play Man City in the Cup, semi-final. And then what do we play? And then we have to go to the Emirates. We play Arsenal at the Emirates. And then we go to Villa Park and we play Villa at Villa Park. And then we play Tottenham at the Bridge. And then we play West Ham at the Bridge. We've got to fit in the Brighton game as well, because the Brighton game away at Brighton has been postponed. Apologies. So, it's not an easy run-in. We have to be honest. Are we winning every single one of those games? More likely, no. But when we do drop points, we need to hope others do. This is where we have to just, take it game by game. Right now, I'll be honest, I think the damage is done. I think we can hope, we can try and be optimistic, we can try and think, we can do it, but it's not just us. We need to hope others fall. And if they don't, well, that's that then. We've got big teams to play, including Arsenal at the Emirates, and they're on a title charge. We have to beat Arsenal. We have to beat them if we want to have a chance to take 6th seriously and actually make it somehow. I never thought it'd be a thing. But if we were to actually give ourselves a chance, we have to beat Arsenal. As well as that, cherry on the cake, it doesn't really involve us, but just from a fan perspective, it kind of stops Arsenal winning the league. So that would be funny. But we have to be honest. Arsenal, they're flying. They're flipping flying right now. So we see what happens. But tomorrow, going into this Sheffield United game, it's not going to be easy. And I do want to say this. We made an unbelievable comeback against Manchester United, right? And we picked up 3 points to allow us to even have this conversation that I have started in this video for the first 9-10 minutes. About talking about 6th. Now, I mean, who would have thought? Like I've said, though, don't get too carried away. But we beat Man United in that way. We have to beat Sheffield United. We have to. Because being honest here, the story of Chelsea's season is that we play against the so-called bigger teams and we actually somehow either we play decent and we pull off something, or we play shocking, yet we still pull off something. It's one of the two, you know? Whereas when we play the Littler, shout out Luke Littler, 180, double bullseye, 9 data. When we play the less able teams, the teams that are more down the table, well, we throw it away and we don't even pick up anything. We just lose outright. Whether we lose to Wolves or we lose to whoever, Nottingham Forest or whoever it is. And now we're playing, well, we bottled the lead twice to a 10-man managerless Burnley at home. Just recently, we've got to go to Sheffield United now, bottom of the league. In one way, I'm more scared of this than the Man United game. This is crazy. But we cannot not win tomorrow. Nah, hell no, can't. If we don't win, everything that happened with that Manchester United game, void. It becomes void. It becomes fairy dust. A fugazi, you might say. You'd have to apologise to Cole Palmer. If we don't pick up 3 points tomorrow, I want a club statement, right? I said this on All You Can Eat. A club statement by the club apologising, not to us. We've been hurt enough this season. We're numb. Apologise to Cole Palmer. Apologise to Cole Palmer. Because he's the only one that is really, at least, he's the only one that set a level and is delivering. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know where we'd be. We cannot not win tomorrow. So I say we cannot lose and we cannot draw. That's what I mean by we cannot not win. We have to win tomorrow. But it won't be easy. Sheffield United, relegation, they're in the midst of it. They have to win. Realistically, if they lose tomorrow, having played that one game in hand, they would be 10 points off survival with one game left in hand and only 7 games left. It's done. At that point, it's done. For them, tomorrow's a final. We have to take them seriously. I do not want to see any complacency. I do not want to see, we got the job done against United, so Sheffield United, it's going to be a walk in the park. You do that, you're screwed. We're losing. I wouldn't be shocked. We need to go at them with the same start that we had against Man United and then maintain it for 90 minutes. I don't want to see us score twice, throw it away like we've seen against Burnley and like we did against United. Let's not forget, we have to acknowledge the United game, brilliant end, fantasy football end. It's the most beautiful end to a football match you can ask for as a football fan. You can't get better than that, unless you're obviously playing a flipping final when that happens there. But in the context of a 90-minute game, that is just the way you want it to end. Yeah, that's just beautiful. But in the context of the match, we were horrific. We were horrendous, and we got lucky. So we can't have the constant bottling, throwing it away. We can't, especially tomorrow, and especially against a team that are going to be coming, weirdly enough, not on the same sort of expectation that we would normally have against a Sheffield United. They're going to be coming all guns blazing because they have to. So hopefully we manage the situation well and we use what we have, and hopefully we get the job done and we maintain that throughout 90 minutes without throwing the result away. So let's hope. In terms of players, I'm expecting basically the same players to be available. There wasn't any injury concern and no suspension. Although, if I'm not mistaken, Caicedo and... is it Enzo? There's 2 players, and I need to check, I'm not sure, but there's 2 players that are on the brink of a suspension for 2 games. If they get a yellow card tomorrow, they will miss Everton and they will miss Arsenal. So we have to be careful there. That needs to be managed. We put ourselves in a situation when it comes to yellow cards, and it's just crazy. But that's something we need to manage. Apart from that, the availability is basically what it was against Man United, I think. Anyway, there was no press conference before this game because it's too short, the gap between the last game and this one. But there was a, you could say, press conference post the presser for the Man United game. Pochettino did talk about the Sheffield United game briefly. But yeah. So when we're talking about going into tomorrow, what 11 we put on the pitch, well, let's get right into it. Let's go into my starting 11. This is what I would do. Check this out. Right. This is my 11, straight off the bat. I'm going Petrovic in goal. Of course, Gusto right back. Hopefully he's okay. He got brought off, and I think he was managing a little bit of... even pre-game, there was talk as to whether he'd make it or not. And he did make it, but I'm assuming that he's okay. And it's just, hopefully ready to go. Disasi, I would play alongside Thiago Silva. Now, I've seen calls for maybe Chalobah to come in ahead of Disasi. I have to be honest, the centre-backs were terrible. Against Manchester United, terrible. And recently, terrible. It's just been horrific. Who's to blame? It's not all them. Because I look to the midfield and I think they're equally as responsible for why we are leaking. When you look defensively and you look at the amount of pressure that the back line ends up facing, it's due to the midfield getting bypassed constantly. Caicedo gets ran past. Enzo gets ran past. It's just... That's where you put yourself in a situation and you have your central defenders that have to pick up the load. But even when they do try to pick up the load, they're making silly mistakes. Especially Badiashile. Disasi less than Badiashile, but you get the gist. Right now, to throw Chalobah right in and to change the entire defensive line, I do want to also acknowledge that Disasi is the one that's been fully available. And he does get stuck in. But he needs to compose himself better. For me, Badiashile is too much. He needs to come off. And look, I would play Thiago Silva, man. At this point, what have you got to lose? At least you know what you're getting with Thiago Silva, but he's not going to play. He's not going to play. Like I've said before, and I'm convinced we won't see him play again. I've said this for a few games now, and he still hasn't played. He won't play. He won't play. I would play him. That's what I just want to make clear. Cucurella, left back. Chilwell is a big doubt, apparently. I'm not sure what's going on with his knee. But I don't think he's going to play. I don't feel like he's going to play. So I reckon Cucurella, left back. Midfield, is there really an option? Enzo and Caicedo. We've spoken about Enzo as of late, and going into the final minute in that game against United, he put on quite a bit of a show on and off the ball. When you're looking at him going to take the ball, to run to the corner, to have a quick chance, and then he lays it off to Palmer, and Palmer scores the winner. And then after that, he goes crazy and he starts going mad, and then he goes to Mason Mount, and then it kicks off. And Enzo is one thing you can't doubt with Enzo is that he does give a damn. That's for sure. That is definitely something. Does he need to improve in terms of the football? Absolutely. Some would say he's misused. Some would say it's Pochettino's fault. Some would say it's him. But whatever it is, he does need to have his levels upped for sure. Caicedo, out of the two, between Enzo and Caicedo, I'm more worried about Caicedo right now. That's just me. Because, and again, some would say, no, it's the manager. Change the manager, give him a manager. I believe Caicedo fits to a certain system. And this is what I'm kind of scared of. Because when we bought him, I didn't think he was like that. I thought he would be quite versatile. I'm starting to think Caicedo's not very versatile. I think he needs one system only, and that's it. He needs tight spaces. He needs to be in an area where there are players around him and he can play technically. If he doesn't have that, he's void. That's what I'm scared of, because I didn't think he was that player. I thought he could use with a ton of space. I thought he could do with, having to play maybe a little bit more expansive, but he can't, because he doesn't have the legs to be able to run and do the dirty work. Enzo, you can maybe rely on doing a bit more of the dirty work. He does get caught out, but Caicedo gets seriously caught out when you have to try and get him to do the dirty work. So that's my concern. But right now, those are the two we have to play, because there's no one else we can play. However, ahead of them, we're playing Sheffield United here. Against Man United, I think we went with maybe the right selection. But against Sheffield United, we're going to have more of the ball. I want to see Chukwuemeka. we have to be honest here. Every time he's come on, he's reliable. He doesn't make mistakes. He gets involved. He contributes. He makes the right decisions. He picks out passes well. He takes his shots well. He times himself well. I've got nothing bad to say about Chukwuemeka. So play him. Start him. I'd play him a lot ahead of Gallagher at this point just to see what has he got. Because he does play in that position. He is, you can say, an attacking midfielder. He can play in that role. I'm curious. I'm curious to see. And I think against Sheffield United, he would have a little bit more freedom than when the pressure is on against a big team that are going to try and have the ball. Chukwuemeka, I would play alongside, or in front of Enzo and Caicedo and see how he gets on. I would do that. So that's me. On the right, we don't even need to talk. He's the first name on the team sheet, and he plays on the right. I'm sticking him on the right for the rest of the season. That's his role. That's his place. Cole Palmer, thank you very much. See you later on. On the left, again, because it's Sheffield United, Mudryk. Right now, I'm still happy to pursue with Mudryk ahead of Sterling. Again, it's Sheffield United, so I do feel like there's going to be a bit more freedom, a bit more time on the ball, a bit more chance of contribution because we are going to have more of the ball. So Mudryk, and up front, Nicholas Jackson, of course. There's no one else to really stick up top, and he plays. So that's my starting 11. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. But that is my starting 11. As I transition out early and I want to get you guys predictions on this and I want to get your guys lineups, let me know in the comments. I'm going to tell you guys to subscribe and make sure you are here tomorrow for all the action as it does drop when we do play Sheffield United. I am going to give you my score prediction. I am going to go with Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 2. Your heart dropped for a sec, didn't it? It did. I know it did. Imagine just coming on here and predicting a 1-0 loss to Sheffield United. What? But I reckon 2-1 win. Tight. It won't be easy, but we have to win. If we don't, at this point, just end it. Like, as I said, the United game would be void. The season would be finished. We are officially finito. So I expect us to go out with some sort of urgency and some sort of a lesson learned, because I know we do get complacent and we do have our heads down and we do get a little bit, relaxed, a little bit too much on the beach. But that Man United game and what it done at the end and what I expect the effect to have is that these players should come out with intensity and urgency and trying to fight for the whole 90, no matter who they're coming up against. It should be a lesson learned. So, to give benefit of the doubt, I reckon we do go all the way and we get a 2-1 win. That's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow. And we see how it all unfolds. So I'll catch all of you then. Thank you all so much for watching. See you tomorrow, people. Take care and peace.